So roughly a year ago, reporters went batpoop crazy over possessed Toyotas that accelerate without your consent, smashing into other sedans, running into and over people, or worse, ruining mailboxes that look like tiny versions of stately homes. Well, if you're like me, you knew this might be BS. And while I felt bad for the victims, I also felt bad for the car company, which would lose billions trying to remedy a mechanical problem that may not exist. But reporters never met a hyped-up story they didn't love, and in this case, they wrapped their legs around this one and squealed. Well, now safety experts, along with NASA, have found that there were no electronic flaws in the cars that would, quote, create dangerous, high-speed, unintended acceleration incidents. Their conclusions? The most likely cause was pedal misapplication, which is a nice way of saying it's your fault. I'm sure some people will disagree, but my gut tells me that cars are the safest thing about driving. Drunks, pedestrians, and girls frantically searching for breath mints scare me more, which makes me wonder, don't look at me that way, which makes me wonder, why isn't there punishment for reporters who fall for this hyped up stuff? As far as I can tell, you can write about the dangers of DDT and be wrong. You can scream about the dangers of nuclear power and be wrong. You can babble about the coming ice age and be wrong. You can clamor over climate change and really be wrong. But everyone forgets, which is why as punishment, they should all be driving Pintos. Or Pacers even. I love Pacers. And if you disagree with me, you are worse than Hitler. Yeah, you. Nick, you're the libertarian here. Should all reporters apologize to Toyota? We still don't know if there's something wrong with the car. There might be, but
there's nothing wrong with the car. And by the way, it's pronounced Hilter.
Okay,
get that right. Okay, my sources in Wisconsin tell me it's Hilter. No, but, you know, as a reporter or as a journalist, I just want to say, you know, the fact that people are idiots who forget yesterday's news is actually kind of good as a journalist.
Yeah, that's true, because you actually keep your career. No one ever knows you screw up. The same people talking about the ice age are talking about global warming, Remy. Reporters, they...
How did we go from Toyota to global warming?
No, because I'm talking about hype. And Remy, isn't it unfair that companies and industries are always seen as at fault no matter what?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly unfair. Sometimes they are, but everybody rushes to judgment. You know, I'll be honest, I didn't comment on that story with Toyota. I didn't really pay much attention to it because I don't drive a Toyota. I just assumed something was wrong with the car. I mean, I just assumed that they made a mistake, and it made sense to me that it might cost too much money to fix it until they got caught. But, you know, I think that this story is a perfect example of how we've got to slow down. You know, everything about the news media these days is tending to, you know, let people just believe that the 10 seconds they hear when they're turning the station.
Hurry up, Remy.
is the full story, and it's just not right.
You know why you don't ride a Toyota, Remy? Because you're a patriot. And as a God-fearing American, I tell you one thing. That Toyota thing was all their fault. By GM and or Ford.
Let me just say this. You know, first of all, let's not leave out our conspiracy factor. NASA, which has no job, right? Because we're not going to space anymore. We shut that. They're the ones in here doing car brakes and testing it. I don't trust that at all. And I'm, you know, and I
NASA schmassa.
And remember what they're doing. They're that, and they're promoting Muslim cooperation around the world.
That's true. And of course, we know we know the whole moon landing took place in Idaho.
And speaking of the press, think of this. It's nothing like, just like Hollywood. People in Hollywood keep failing upward. You keep making the same mistakes, but you get paid more. Same business.
There you go. All right, we got to take a break.
You know, that's actually true. Robert McNamara went from creating the Edsel at Ford to running the Vietnam War.
I had no idea.
And then he went on to the World Bank.
I learned something new every day from the guy in the cool shirt.
The fog of cars.
So how tough is it to leave your kids at the mall? Remy Spencer on her new book, How to Leave Your Kids at the Mall. Remy, you're a monster. But first, is it finally time for a gay beer? Maybe, but what I'm really looking forward to is a transgendered Harvey Wallbanger. They're calling it the most entertaining exhibition of the year. I speak of Friday Night Pudding Wrestling at John Gibson's place. Always ends in bloodshed, but I don't complain. But also I speak of Jeopardy's 3-day Man vs. Machine special. That's where IBM supercomputer Watson took on super nerds and Jeopardy champs Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter. Over the 3 days, Watson earned more than the two men combined, basically mopping the floor with them. Or actually, literally, the robot used them as mops.
What?
You would too, they're dorks. Anyway, here's a clip of the Superbot in action.
It developed from a dialect of this Semitic language. Watson.
What is Arabic?
You are right. Watson.
What is ancient Greek?
Yes.
What is broke the bank?
You got it.
What is United Airlines? What is agricultural?
You are right.
Wow, he didn't even wait for Trebek to ask the questions. So what makes the supercomputer so effective? Writing at Slate.com, Jennings sums up, explaining, quote, "I'm a loser." No, I'm kidding. Watson has learned to deal with some of the myriad complexities of English. When it sees the word blondie, it's good at figuring out whether Jeopardy means the cookie, the comic strip, or the new wave band. That adds nothing to this story. Right. So, of course, IBM hopes to sell the technology. In the meantime, the supercomputer will be taking on these two plucky challengers.
Jožin zbážin, už si zuby brousí. Jožin zbážin, kouše sa jerdousí. Na Jožina zbážin, koho by to napadlo?
I think they're brothers.
They look like a formidable pair. I will give you that. Remy, when computers start killing people, how quickly will you defend them in court?
You stop. This is just wrong. I mean, I love this show, Jeopardy. I watch it every now and then, and it's just wrong. It's just, these are supposed to be the two all-time champions in the history of the show of Jeopardy, and they're competing against a robot?
I don't know. I think it was a clever idea, but it does scare me. Nick, what do you think when robots finally take control? What will their political leanings be?
Oh, I think they'll vote for me.
Yeah.
I won't be running for anything. I think that the two human contestants should have tried to use emotion to make the robot kind of smoke and then blow up. That wouldn't have been hard. You know, why didn't they ask questions about love?
That's my thing. That's all everything they knew, but I'm going to tell you something. I saw the future, and that's your future. You're gone. They're going to replace you because they can do that.
It's not that hard to replace
me.
You know, it's just a rumor.
But by the way, this is one of those, the end of humanity coming.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be.
Here's the thing, though, Bill. If there was a fire in the studio, humans would have to save the supercomputer because he can't run.
Right.
Yes.
We have yet to invent a computer with wheels yet. Many years down the road, gentlemen.
Hey,
many years. Wouldn't it be cool if the computer had Rosie Perez's voice and White Men Can't Jump? That would have been delightful.
Or if she was inside the computer.
Yeah. Oh, actually, absolutely. We probably know she was.
Popped out at the end.
Exactly.
Look,
it's a computer / birthday cake.
Why are we surprised by this? It's a computer. That's why we invented them to be smarter than us.
It's a supercomputer.
I didn't think it was that super.
Whoever called it super was just exaggerating. Let's face it. A lot of people do that. I do that when I go, here's my super bed. No. My bed's not that super, but I say it's a super bed.
This computation, this thing is so huge. It's just
quickly
big.
It is big, but I don't know if it's super. My final thought. This is all camouflage, Nick, all camouflage for the sex robot business. These people are pretending that they're making intelligent robots, but what they're really doing is they're making sex robots and using this as a front.
Every woman that I know has already told me flat out that they've replaced men with robots.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
They'll be able to talk well.
Yeah, they do talk well. He was a charming fellow. I'd have a drink with him, maybe two, if he's paying. I don't know. Anyway, do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail, my direct line, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. A robot. Yeah.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by solar flares, those large explosions in the sun's atmosphere that can release up to 6 times 10 to the 25th joules of energy, or about 6 of the total energy output of the sun each second. Thanks, solar flares.